Brian and Debbie are transforming their garden into a designer haven. They've already shifted 30 tonnes of soil and 5 tonnes of concrete at their cottage in Leicestershire, in the first stage of turning it into a practical but beautiful kitchen garden.
We've finished all the digging out now and we're left with 3 mounds of soil. Now we're going to add some real structure to the garden by making raised beds.
The raised beds were made from lengths of pressure-treated boarding, very simple to knot together, and the perfect solution to lots of problems in this small working garden.
You've got such heavy, wet soil there, haven't you? You get wonderful drainage. So automatically they're not going to be sitting in water all the time. And the other thing is that because it's such a tight space, isn't it, quite small, and we're getting 2 buildings in that quite tight space, having them actually sort of sunken in the raised beds, I think it would just help them sort of sit in there much better, and they won't look so in your face. They'll be nicely sort of bedded into the garden. And you get much better yield with vegetables in raised beds because you're not always trampling over the soil, so you're not compacting it and consolidating it, and that's really good.
And they're just nice to work, aren't they? Because you don't have to bend down to ground level all the time. You can just lean in and work them very nicely and easily.
That sounds really good. You can actually sit in your deck chair with your pina colada and just look at the vegetables.
Yes, just pull your weed out when you feel like it.
Great.
And you could even actually sit on these raised beds because we're going to have this inner skin of wood which does the work, and then we're going to do an outer skin of hazel, and so we'll have a nice timber coping that will be wide enough for you to perch on.
Oh, that'd be good.
Very nice.
Excellent.
Let's get cracking. We've partially completed the retaining walls and it's all really starting to take shape. Later on we're going to weave the hazel in front, which will make it look really good. But for the moment we've just got the basics in place. Now we've done this, we can start on our first building.
Job done.
Meanwhile, Brian and Debbie had been herded off to the cattle market in Nottingham to save a few quid on the main framework of the greenhouse. At around £200, these windows may seem expensive for a salvage greenhouse, but they're a fraction of the price of perfects and will last a good 20 years. If you're lucky, you'll even get the odd glazed one too, and with a few clever design tricks, you can have your own individual designer greenhouse.
We're making a greenhouse in our garden. You see that you've got reject window frames. What is actually wrong with them?
Nothing at all, really. Basically, that one's gold, it should be white, or that was white, should be gold. It's got a left-hand opener when it should have a right-hand opener, anything like that. But perfectly all right.
We've got all different shapes and sizes here. Is there anything we need to do to sort of make them all look the same?
Well, they're all the same height anyway, so really all you've got to do is try and get rid of this bar, which you can cut out.
Right.
It'll look the same as that anyway there. So it'll be uniform all the way around.
Excellent.
We are actually thinking of painting the greenhouse.
No problems with it. It's just that you wouldn't be able to stain the white ones gold or dark brown, but if you're painting, it's not a problem.
Right, so if we just undercoat this
Yeah,
and
then paint it over the top of it, no problem.
Meanwhile, back at Cherry Tree Cottage, things were moving on apace with the laying of the patio.
salvage windows. I think they're going to work particularly well here because we've used a lot of reclaimed materials on the house. We've painted them this lovely off-white colour to match the off-white windows of the house, so they all tie in together. It's not going to be the biggest greenhouse in the world, but even a small amount of glass is fantastic for any keen gardener. Lovely. If we get the frame in first, the door frame, then we can work all the rest of the greenhouse windows from it, and it all should line up beautifully smoothly. So we need to make sure that's plumb. Right. How's that? Check with the level. Yep. Yeah, I think so. And we could just put it along the front of the greenhouse.
Is this going outside?
Outside, not inside.
That's unusual.
Yes, it just means you can put pots up there, you could even put some plants on the front or whatever. And the other thing is, sometimes if the roof doesn't look at quite a nice pitch or it's not quite as beautiful as you would like, seeing as it's salvaged, something like this just deflects the eye and it makes it look really good. Couple of reasons that we're painting these blocks. A, I think they look much, much nicer, won't they, when they're coloured, the lovely lilac that you've chosen for your house. And B, it will just help reflect the light. And obviously these plants will want every bit of light they can get. Masonry paint, far, far better because it's a damp wall and it's got fungicide in it, and so it will stop it all spalling off and getting all manky. Great, we're done.
Come on, guys, it's your turn.
The glass has arrived at the greenhouse. I've ordered 3mm horticultural glass instead of the more expensive Tuflon safety glass. But we haven't got any children to worry about here, only two very sensible adults. The addition of the greenhouse and the raised beds has really started to transform this plot into a working kitchen garden. Debbie is more than pleased with her mini greenhouse, and Brian has managed to indulge his passion for salvage.
Next time, we put in our second building, a trellis-clad arbour that forms a secluded retreat. And Brian gets to lay his own salvaged courtyard using more reclaimed materials.